Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. We kick off today with an unfortunate delay from OpenAI. The company has delayed their first open model in years. Sam Altman tweeted, "We're going to take a little more time with our open weights model, i.e. expect it later this summer but not June. Our research team did something unexpected and quite amazing, and we think it will be very worth the wait, but needs a bit longer." Now, this open model was announced back in April, and it's intended to be a reasoning model alongside the same lines as their O series. The announcement had come in the wake of DeepSeek shocking the world as an open source reasoner, and Altman publicly acknowledging that OpenAI had been on the wrong side of history when it came to open source. Following the announcement, we got rumors that the research team was working on a way to hand off more complex query to OpenAI's closed models. There is certainly a lot of competition in this space right now. Mistl recently released their first family of reasoning models, expanding their range into that latest architecture. Alibaba's Qwen team have also released a range of hybrid reasoning models that can modulate their inference according to the complexity of the prompt. Given Altman's tweet, it's likely that OpenAI is cooking up something interesting, but for now, we're all just going to have to wait. Speaking of Mistl, that company has brilliantly navigated the changing geopolitical landscape to its own advantage. Growing tensions with the US have caused European companies to seek out a domestic AI solution, and Mistl is putting itself firmly in place as that answer. The company is on pace to hit $100 million in annualized revenue this year as a result. From the beginning of the AI boom, European officials have stressed the need for strategic autonomy from the US. And while the Restrictive AI Act has been more of a barrier than anything else, the intention has always been clear to ensure Europe isn't reliant on foreign technology. Extending their mission to deliver European tech to the continent, Mistl has also announced a partnership with Nvidia to build a massive new data center. Located 20 miles south of Paris, the data center will initially house 18,000 of Nvidia's new Blackwell chips. The goal is to give European customers a way to tap into Mistral's AI products without dependence on the US. The plans are to expand the facility to 100 megawatts over the coming year and a half. Speaking from the VivaTech event in Paris yesterday, Mistral CEO Arthur Mensch said that US Vice President J.D. Vance's speech on US AI dominance in February had been a wake-up call. Mensch said, "It tremendously affected our demand because European leaders just don't want to be talked to that way." At the same event, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang said that more than 20 AI factories, his new term for these massive AI data centers, are being planned and built across Europe over the next 2 years. He said that several of them will be gigafactories that house over 100,000 chips, making them suitable for large model training. Huang said, "We will increase the amount of AI computing capacity in Europe by a factor of 10. Shikar writes, "Mistral Compute from France is very much a strategic AI infra offering. They want to pitch themselves as an alternative to US and China-based AI infrastructure. I love this pitch. More companies outside the US and China should take this approach. This prevents centralization at the enterprise level. In the event of a US-China conflict, sovereign states will need neutral AI infrastructure they can trust." Another story that we've been watching closely is that of the talent wars in Silicon Valley. Now, this has been top of mind ever since the news of Meta potentially sort of acquiring Scale broke. As part of those reports, we discovered that Mark Zuckerberg is also spending big to build a 50-person team around Scale CEO Alexander Wang, who will be leading a new superintelligence effort at Meta. Bloomberg sources are now discussing what the new roster looks like. They report that Jack Ray, a principal researcher at Google DeepMind, is expected to come on board, and Johan Schalwicks, a machine learning lead at AI voice startup Sesame AI, has also reportedly agreed to a deal. Zuckerberg has apparently been hosting candidates at his homes in Palo Alto and Lake Tahoe as part of a personal recruitment drive. Bloomberg reiterates that Meta and Zuckerberg are offering compensation packages worth tens of millions of dollars over several years. And as much as this is nominally about future superintelligence, it's also about Meta shoring up its immediate term. Arguing for why these massive compensation packages actually make sense, SuperAnnotate co-founder Vehan Petrasan said, "There are very few people globally who can do these types of large AI trainings very, very efficiently." Now, Meta is no stranger to spending big, but this is definitely a whole different level. Menlo Ventures' Didi Das confirmed what he's been hearing on the ground in San Francisco, posting, "It's true. The Meta offers for the superintelligence team are actually insane. If you work at the big AI labs, Zuck is personally negotiating $10 million plus per year in cold hard liquid money. I've never seen anything like it. If you see your buddy who works in AI suddenly join Meta, congratulate them on the new future Atherton mansion." Didi also said that while he hadn't heard of any 9-figure deals, which was something that had been reported earlier, he had heard 9 figures over 4 years. When someone parroted the usual VC line that top talent can do better by building their own startup, Das replied, "They probably can't actually." Professor Ethan Malik pondered how this gigantic recruiting effort might fundamentally shape the industry, saying, "Big question in AI is whether new entrants can still hope to reach the state of the art, or whether learning curve plus compute needs are high enough that this is impossible. xAI did it with massive compute and hiring investment, but otherwise is the list of competitors fixed? Now, in terms of competition, and whether there's anyone that can compete with the big tech labs, some interesting news in enterprise AI. Enterprise AI startup Glean has closed a new funding round that values the company at $7.2 billion. The Series F round, led by Wellington Management, was a small one, just $150 million in fresh capital, but a big jump in valuation from their $4.6 billion valuation from back in September. Glean is in a really interesting spot. They are offering an all-in-one enterprise end-to-end sort of AI package that includes models, agents, enterprise search, and their pitch has had surprising traction inside enterprises. Not only have they surpassed $100 million in ARR, in our interactions at Superintelligent with companies, the one partner to do it all thing that they offer, especially with their exclusive focus on enterprise AI, as opposed to some of the other big labs, which obviously have lots of different commitments in lots of different areas, has been really resonant. At the same time, those big players are all offering certain comparable features, and we're definitely starting to see more aggressive competitive tactics. Reports are that Salesforce has recently changed its terms of service for the Slack API. That effectively means that companies like Glean won't be able to index and store Slack data for use with their own search technology. Given how much important context and information exists in Slack, that's a big challenge for a company like Glean. Now, a Salesforce spokesperson says this is just all about data security, stating, "As AI raises critical considerations around how customer data is handled, we're committed to delivering AI and data services in a way that's thoughtful and transparent." Glean themselves acknowledge that the change will harm their users, stating in an email to customers that it would, quote, "hamper your ability to use your data with your chosen enterprise AI platform." In some ways, clearly a bit of a nudge to try to get those customers to put pressure on Salesforce to potentially reverse course or think differently about the policy. Strange Fund's Tara Tan sums it up pretty admirably, writing, "Meta buys scale, OpenAI acquires Windsurf, and Anthropic snubs it. Salesforce owns Slack and blocks off Glean and other players. Everyone is floating $10 million paychecks to poach or hoard top AI talent. It's like Settlers of Catan in real life. Control the ports, block the roads, hoard the future." Perfectly summed up, but that is going to do it for today's headlines. Next up, the main episode.